The White Sox went out and signed one of Japanese baseball's best sluggers. But the Cubs, they're eyeing one of the best pitchers coming from the Far East out on the market, Tatsuya Imai. We're going to talk about Imai, some teams that are rumored to be connected, and the posting fee, which ends on January the 2nd. I'm going to give you guys my scouting report on Imai, and I want you to like, subscribe, thumbs up, hit the bell, and be part of the show every day. And I love you guys for doing it. Let's go. What do you say, everybody? Mick Gillespie, just an OG Cubs fan hanging out with you on a daily basis, talking about the Cubs. And appreciate all the views. Thank you, guys. Numbers are up. We appreciate that so much. Make sure that you subscribe. If you are a subscriber already, share with your friends. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers, and we're grinding out shows every day. I don't have a tag team partner. It's just me. So just remember that. All right, look, let's get into Tatsuya Imai, because I really feel like the Cubs are serious about signing Imai. I look at what Japanese baseball players are doing in the league, the guys that are on the Cubs team that came from Japan, two of their best players. This guy's 27 years old, and he is, I'm going to tell you 5 things about Imai, which is things that I think make him very signable for the Cubs. So let me start with this. Latest rumors, the Mets apparently in the mix for Imai. There's contact there. The people that cover the Mets are saying that. We talked about the Red Sox being in there. The Yankees were rumored to be the team to watch to sign him. And then all of a sudden, Aaron Boone's like, hey, we haven't talked to him yet. If that's true, then they'd be throwing all of us off, right? And there's still plenty of time to go from where we are right now to the January 2nd end date of the posting before they have to have him signed, so the Yankees could get in this in a second. I mean, it wouldn't take long, right? Scott Boras is his agent, and he's looking for money, right? You're going to have to pay him. You're going to have to pay his team in Japan as well, right? The posting fee. So we'll get into that on this video, but make sure that you guys get in the comments section and tell me what you think. I know I'm reading the comments, and a lot of you guys are like, the Cubs aren't going to spend this money. They're not going to want to give him the money that he wants, which is something else that we're going to talk about here. Now, I mentioned it before, and I'm going to say it again. This is the first important thing of this deal, is that New Year's Day, right, is coming up. The next day is the Imai Day, and do you have to have him signed, or he goes back to Japan? Somebody's going to have him signed by then. I love it. I wish free agency was like this. And Major League Baseball for all the players, where you had a deadline. If you're a free agent, you got 45 days to sign or you're out, because it just saves us all of the semantics between agents and the teams and waiting guys out, guys waiting the market out, all that stuff. Like, let's just get it over with. What's great about this is that you're going to know January the 3rd or before that what your next move is if you're the Cubs, because you know you want a pitcher. He's a guy that you can get. And that's when he has to be signed by, or he goes back, right? 27 years old. He was with the Lions in Japan, the Seibu Lions. He has been one of the best pitchers in the Japanese league, right? Maybe the best when you really think about it. I mean, he's been just an absolute ace. And what I really love, too, is that he's in his prime right now. The last 2 seasons, he's posted a 1.92 ERA in 24 outings. That was obviously all-star type outings and seasons, 2 of those in a row. A 2.34 ERA last year. 2024 was a 1.92 ERA. So just amazing numbers for this guy over the last couple of seasons. He gets a ton of strikeouts, limits hits, and pitches deep in the games. He's averaged 6 2/3 innings in his starts the last 2 years. And you guys know from watching this channel, get sick and tired of how we say, oh, well, guy threw 100 pitches, got to get him out of the game. Or, he threw 5 innings, can't let him pitch anymore. I don't think their arms are going to fall off. I think a lot of it does have to do injuries with fatigue, but fatigue doesn't necessarily come with 100 pitches. It comes with fatigue. You just know. There were guys like Fergie Jenkins that pitched years in the big leagues and pitched complete games for years in the big leagues. I tell the story all the time of Billy Williams, who has said to me on numerous occasions, I always wanted to play when Fergie was pitching because I knew the game wasn't going to be that long. Not only did he pitch a complete game, but he threw strikes and the innings were fast. That's what I saw last year with Yamamoto of the Dodgers. And then when he started to get in that role towards the end of the season, they weren't taking him out of the game because their bullpen wasn't very good, and he was. And he won him the World Series, right? He had a 17 strikeout game with the Cebu Lions last year, did Imai. And that was a record that was held for a long time by former Red Sox pitcher Daisuke Matsuzaka. Remember him? Well, he passed that. He also threw a combined no-hitter for his team in Japan, right? So, I talked about it before. The guy had 163 innings logged, a 192 ERA, and 178 strikeouts last year. And he is in the prime of his career. Now, where do we project him, Imai? Where you got him going? And this one has kind of been interesting when it comes to terms of the Chicago Cubs, right? And also his value on the market, which I'm going to talk about in this video too. But he's projected to be middle of the rotation to the back end of the rotation type of guy. He could be better, but that's just the projections. Part of it is that he's a little bit undersized at 5'11", but he draws these amazing comparisons to some of the best pitchers in the major leagues right now. And when you look at the Cubs rotation, you got to figure Justin Steele and Cade Horton are going to be, your 2 best pitchers coming back this season. Jameson Taillon was excellent last year at the end of the season. I hope he brings that same mentality back. And then remember, Matthew Boyd had an all-star year for the Cubs as a starter. Is he going to be able to follow that up and stay healthy, which has been his issue? I don't know. But if Imai ends up on the Cubs and he is in the middle of this rotation, maybe the third guy. Oh, and don't forget about Shota Imanaga, right? So if you're the third guy in this rotation, the Cubs have strong starting pitching depth. I think we're going to be in pretty good shape, right? Now, the crazy thing to me is when you look at where they're kind of putting him right now, ESPN's Kylie McDaniels says, hey, it's going to be like a third starter for an MLB team, right? So it's right kind of where I'm at on that. And at the third starter in the big leagues makes a ton of money now, right? And we're going to get into where his projected contract's going to lie, as these teams try to get him. Now, let's talk about his pitching, right? Like, what does he bring to the table? His best pitch is his slider, but his primary pitch is his fastball. Now, that doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, I kind of think that you want a pitcher that isn't afraid to throw their fastball in big spots, right? I mean, it should be your most effective pitch if you're dominant. And his fastball sits, around 95. He can get it up to 99. He's got like a 20% whiff rate on that pitch. At least he did last year in Japan. And he throws it 40%, 48% of the time when he's out there pitching, right? So he's up there with guys like Lucas Giolito, who was with the Red Sox last year, gets a lot of swings and misses. And when Shota Imanaga was like really locked in, he got a lot of swings and misses too. I think that you think about Cade Horton and the second half of the season he had. Think about how many swings and misses he had. So you've got to have those for sustained success. The other thing, though, and what Imai leans on the most is his slider. which you talk about whiff rate. That's a 46% whiff rate pitch over in Japan, right? And he uses it 33% of the time. So he's got this really incredible slider, which is a lot different than other pitchers because of the fact that it kind of has this gyro movement, right? Trey Yesavage of the Blue Jays, people just keep on saying, hey, you saw the guy in the World Series last year. He was so good. He's a 6'4" guy, but he throws a very similar pitch that just kind of has like movement this way instead of this way. It's almost like to me, it looks kind of like a splitter or a screwball a little bit, but it has backwards movement. And that's what Yesavage has, and that's what, makes him so much different. But you also hear comparisons to Luis Castillo of the Mariners and Max Scherzer and Paul Skeens. I mean, if you're getting compared to with those four guys, I think that's a huge sign, right? I mean, if you're a guy that they're going, okay, you're like Trey Yesavage, then okay, put me right there. I mean, that makes me feel more comfortable about going in and signing Imai, right? The fact that you feel good about him in that capacity. So it comes down to the cost, right? You're going to have to pay the Seibu Lions in Japan for getting him, right? You get a posting fee. And then on top of that, you're going to have to pay him. And we talked about ESPN's McDaniel, Kylie McDaniel, 6 years, $135 million, basically 22 and a half a year. Jim Bowden, we talk about him, MLB trade rumors, both sitting there between 150 and 160 over a 6 or 7 year deal. That's around 22 million. And, FanSided has it at 150 to 200 million dollars, right? 7 years at 175 million. I don't know like where the market is going to sit, right? You hear these things and you're like, man, that's a lot of money. I mean, that makes him one of the highest paid players in Cubs history. If you pay that, the Cubs haven't really had the appetite to give out too many of these contracts. But when you talk about pitching, this is the price you pay for elite top-end pitching. And you're competing with teams like the Dodgers that spend more money than everybody in the league. And they give the tax back to MLB, which is more than some teams spend on their entire roster. That's who you're competing with, right? And so if you're the Cubs, you want to be a serious contender, you have to have that top end pitching to be able to get that done. And I wonder if Imai sits there as a top end guy, because they project him as a number 3. So if they project him as a number 3 or back, maybe the price tag drops a little bit. The other part that hurts him is that he's just an unproven commodity. I mean, we've never seen him pitch in a major league game, right? Yeah, I've seen him pitch in international games. I've seen him pitch in Japan. That does translate. But still, if you're going to give someone, a 6 or a 7 year deal that's never pitched a game in the major leagues, that is a risk. And your scouts are going to have to hit that right on the nose, or your team's going to be really hurting if he doesn't perform, right? And, when you're switching leagues and you're stepping up, there's no guarantee, right? But with that said, I feel like the Cubs are squarely in the mix. I'm not sure what the money's going to be. A lot of the market depends on what the other teams feel like he's worth. And, that's just the way that any kind of economic model looks, right? Hey, if I'm willing to pay you this and no one else is, and then I'm going to get you. If I'm paying you this, then they're going to have to do this. And it kind of, goes up the ladder. Plus he's got Scott Boras as an agent. So that Scott knows how to make some money. That's kind of been his thing. So anyway, you guys tell me what you think. Get in the comments section. Read your comments. You guys are answering the question. What do you want to get into on future shows? Saw one that was like, hey, let's do the lineup, the projected lineup. That's a great one, because when Tucker signs elsewhere, then all of a sudden you're relying on Owen Casey and Seiya Suzuki and Moises Ballesteros. Could something change? Could the Cubs possibly get Imai and Bregman? Those are all fair questions to ask, and we'll be answering those as well. But like, subscribe, thumbs up. Even you Cardinals fans, it's the offseason. I know that you're probably doing some scouting on your arch rivals, but I appreciate all of you guys for being here, and we'll do it again tomorrow. We got this thing rolling. I don't even know the last time we had off. We're on here every day. Hit that QR code right there. Join Mick Nation. Get one of these hats. We gave away $1,500 with the college football playoff game. Maybe we'll do it again when the next round of playoff games come. The NFL's there. You guys want to do Bears? Let's do Bears. Bears with a big win over the Packers. What a crazy game in overtime. I know a lot of Bears fans are here. I know there's some Colts fans out there, some Packers fans. All you guys, we'll throw some games in for you. But thanks for being here.